Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Science on Tap. Delighted to have you all here. I'm Lynn Herman. I'm the Chamber of Commerce Director, and I am here this evening to introduce Linda Deck. But first, I want to just say that this evening, for the first time ever, if you become a member of the Bradbury Science Museum Association, thank you, you do get $1 off every beverage and food that you order during Science on Tap only. So I will be selling memberships here this evening. If you need some information, we have flyers about it. Please come out and support Bradbury Science Museum that does fabulous events like this every month. So, and please join me in welcoming Linda Deck.
Good luck.
Rin, thanks so much. Great to see everybody here tonight. Always great to see a great Science on Tap crowd. And this one looks about pretty weighty, so I'm really happy to see you here. People come to Science on Tap to learn about the latest nifty news about science research or engineering that's going on at Los Alamos National Laboratory. And it's a program of the Bradbury Science Museum with support from the Los Alamos Creative District, which Rin also represents. So Rin, thanks a lot for the Creative District's partnership on this. And also incredibly thankful to Unquarked for hosting us. Let's give them a round of applause. Don't forget to partake of their delicious beverages and food. And what Rin just mentioned is that this now is being provided to you as a member benefit if you join the Bradbury Science Museum Association, which is a separate 501c3 from the Bradbury Science Museum. The association is there to help support and amplify more great STEM activities for everyone, young and old alike. And so one of the member benefits of joining the BSMA is at every Science on Tap that you come to, when you're a member, you can get $1 off every drink and food item that you order. So for everyone, not just tonight. Yes. So that's a great member benefit. You know what, it's not the very best one, I would say, though. I just want to tell you about two other benefits, because I really think this is an awesome program. One is that if you join the BSMA, you become part of a passport program to get into science museums around the country that are members of that passport program for free. So on this list, here are some. You can get into the Boston Museum of Science, where your regular admission price would be $25. You could get into the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago. Their regular admission price is $18. I think when you look down this list, and if you're a science museum goer, you'll realize that a membership in the BSMA is really worth it. You also get discounts off of goods at the kiosk that the BSMA runs in the lobby of the Bradbury Science Museum. So that is a really nice benefit as well. By the way, next month, we are going to be premiering 75th anniversary logo goods for the lab at that very kiosk. On March 13th, there's going to be a general kind of kickoff to the 75th anniversary celebrations for the lab, for everything that they're running. And part of that is the premiere of the logo goods. There will be refreshments. It runs from 4 to 6 p.m. on Tuesday, the 13th of March, right there in the Bradbury from 4 to 6 p.m. So I hope I see you there. Let's see, okay. Here's another thing put on. I have to really cross-promote all this good stuff. The Bradbury Science Museum Association wants to create other really nifty programming that you might like. And we've got a really interesting one coming up on Saturday, the 3rd of March. This is a lecture tour of a lecture and a tour of the Bradbury about science meets comics, and then a workshop with well-known science comic creator Jeff Benham. He's part of the 7000 BC gang that does their work out of Santa Fe. And this is a benefit to members because it's a discount for the lecture and that Jeff will give, or the lecture, the tour, and the workshop for BSMA members. So you can learn more about this really interesting thing. You don't have to know how to draw. It's really more about storytelling, but he'll help you with drawing as well. So if you've ever wondered how to make those really neat kind of graphic novel type looking stories about science, Jeff could help you do that. So that's Saturday the 3rd of March. And Linda over there in the corner, thank you Linda, she has more flyers on this over there. So I hope you might avail yourself of it. And again, there's a discount for BSMA members. Yeah, right, now, not yet to introduce our lovely speaker. The next Science on Tap will be the 3rd Monday of March, which is the 19th. So that's going to be the first time we're shifting to our new night. From now on, we will be on the 3rd Monday of the month. But there's exceptions to every rule, right? The one in July will be July 12th, which is a Thursday, and that is going to be right there at the leading edge of Science Fest. So that's the only one that won't be on a Monday going forward. But the next one will be Monday, March 19th, that's the 3rd Monday. And the presenter will be someone speaking on the topic of the Kilopower Krusty project, Krusty spelled like the clown, everybody knows how to spell that, to demonstrate readiness of small space fission power. Krusty stands for Kilopower Reactor using Stirling technology. So that should be a very interesting topic for our next Science on Tap. So here's how Science on Tap works for those of you who haven't been here yet. First thing, you come. You're here already, that's great. Glad to see you. You get something to eat and drink. Most of you have done that as well. Good on you. We have a wonderful speaker from the laboratory to talk about some of that great science, give us an introduction to it. We have about 15 minutes or about that time. And then it's open for conversation and questions, open to the assembled here. And we really rely on you to bring out your particular interests, your particular expertise to add to the conversation. This is more of a conversation about science rather than a lecture by far. So please plan on participating, and we always have a scintillating discussion. It's always a lot of fun. Feel free during the time here, if you want to go up and get another glass of wine or a beer or something to eat, please go ahead and do that. That's fair game. So finally, I want you to all silence or turn off your cell phones, please. That would be very nice. And there are comment forms on the table. We always like to hear back from you. How did you like the talk? What other topics might you like to see? That's where we get a lot of our ideas for upcoming speakers, so we really do want to hear from you. Alrighty, so tonight's Science on Tap topic is ATHENA, ATHENA, which stands for Advanced Tissue Engineered Human External Network Analyzer. And our speaker today is Jennifer Harris. Jennifer is an avid skier, and in a previous lifetime, this was intriguing to me, before becoming a scientist, she ran an Austrian museum store in Austria that traveled with a traveling art and architecture exhibit throughout Europe. So good on you. But after settling down and studying to get her PhD in biomedical sciences, she worked in the realm of lung toxicology, influenza, and now creates artificial lungs, livers, neuromuscular junctions, and hearts, leading a bioengineering team building milliscale organs. Tonight, she will discuss why scientists are challenging the paradigms we have relied upon for 100 or more years in testing pharmaceuticals for human use. And she is also one of our scientist ambassadors out of the Bradbury. So please welcome Jennifer Harris.
It's good to be here. And if you guys have questions, I know that I'm supposed to talk for 15 minutes and then we open up the floor, but if you guys have questions in the middle, please, just go ahead and say, hey, because I think this is much more fun to be engaging and just have a conversation. So what I wanted to bring out tonight is the thought about how we develop our pharmaceuticals and how we've done this for 100 or more years. What kind of ways do we do this? So what we've been doing for the last 100 or more years is we've been testing pharmaceuticals on cells in a dish, on animals in a lab, rats or rodents, non-rodents, and primates. And then after a primate test, a pharmaceutical will go into a phase 1 clinical trial. And that's in humans. So if you're involved in a phase 1 clinical trial, you are the monkey in the middle because it goes from primates to humans. And I know that phase 1 clinical trials have saved lives, but that to me is a little scary. We need some kind of bridge between animal studies and human studies. And that's a lot about what ATHENA is all about, is providing a human organ bridge between animal studies and human studies, and maybe even to reduce our reliance on animal studies. I was actually floored last week when I heard about an animal study that happened in this very state, in a place that I actually had worked before. And it was an animal study done at Lovelace Respiratory on monkeys using a VW bus. And they were breathing in diesel fuel, and the scientists had been duped by VW and not told that the VW bug that they were given to use for testing was modified so that it wouldn't put out nasty diesel fumes. And could something like artificial organs help prevent or reduce use of monkeys like that? Someday I hope so. We are actually funded by the Department of Defense, and the Department of Defense has a problem. Our soldiers go out, they get deployed all over the world, and some people want to hurt them, and some people want to expose them to really bad things like sarin gas or anthrax. And the Department of Defense wants to make pharmaceuticals to help these soldiers. But honestly, there's really no good cohort for a phase 1 clinical trial. If they can test these pharmaceuticals on rodents, non-rodents, primates, but then there is no ethical human cohort that is, say, an anthrax victim. They don't have any cohort for phase 1 clinical trial. So that is why we're being funded by the Department of Defense to make these artificial organs, is because there's a real need for our soldiers to develop drugs for our soldiers to help them if they are exposed to these things. But we need to make sure before giving these drugs or pharmaceuticals to our soldiers that the pharmaceuticals are safe. Some of the organs we've been working on are heart, lung, liver, neuromuscular junction. I have some show and tell here today that I'll be passing around in a little bit to talk about what we're doing. And there are some things that you can come up and take a look at later.